Imagine you're the unluckiest investor on earth. Every single time you get some cash, you throw it into an asset that everyone says is a sure thing. But the very next day, the company's CEO gets indicted by the feds for fraud, trading halts, and your entire life savings instantly plummets straight to pennies. You feel cursed, you feel completely desperate, and you're surrounded by people whispering, "Are you crazy? Are you stupid? How long are you going to stay broke?" Your friends unfollow you, your old classmates block you on social media, and every time someone invites you out for drinks, you're forced to make an excuse because your bank account is literally in the negatives.
Have you ever wondered why some anomalies, ordinary guys from small, forgotten towns whose parents did blue-collar grunt work, can suddenly flip their lives 180 degrees from absolute zeros to massive crypto whales? Especially when they started with absolutely nothing, grinding through 5 different side hustles a day, without knowing what a day off or family time even looked like. Welcome to Finance, where we explain investing concepts in a simple way. But first of all, a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Let's look at the big picture. We are now in mid-2026. Notice how all those high-profile influencers who used to scream about digital assets on your feed have suddenly gone completely silent. The market is bleeding. Countless altcoins are getting completely wiped out, and most tokens are sitting at a brutal 50% to 70% drop from their all-time highs. Now, let's zoom in directly to your wallet. Why does a horror show on a macro level turn out to be the most critical micro opportunity for your own bank account? Because most people don't actually have a wealth problem. They have an earning power problem. Data shows that the vast majority of regular people don't even have $1,000 in emergency savings. Our school system only teaches us how to graduate, climb a corporate ladder, and passively save cash in an account yielding next to zero interest. But in the real world, stagnant money is dead money. The truth is, when the market feels like a ghost town and everyone else is terrified, that is the exact good entry point you've been waiting for. This is a recurring cycle, a mathematical pattern designed to shake out the weak hands. All right, let's break down the mechanics without using any of those stiff, overcomplicated Wall Street terms. How do you actually build a conviction that's solid as steel when the entire market is crashing around you? Imagine you've been grinding for 5 years, living in a cramped studio apartment, driving a beat-up car with a check engine light that won't go away. You only have about 6 months of runway left before you're completely broke and forced to move back into your parents' basement. In that exact make-or-break moment, you have 2 choices. Look for a cheap, lazy excuse, or step up and make a deeply responsible move. Investing your money when the market is down is like buying a neglected piece of swampland that no developer wants to look at. Normal people will laugh at you. They'll tell you it's completely worthless. But if you've done your homework down to the code, you understand that technology moves in definitive cycles. Once that cycle swings back up, that useless swamp becomes prime real estate, and that is exactly where you harvest an ungodly financial leap. Now, let's look at the logic and the hard data. Winning in these markets isn't about being a certified genius or predicting the future. The ultimate cheat code is simply being early. This core rule is completely validated by the historical data of Bitcoin, which operates under an exact mathematical law known as the halving day. This isn't an opinion. It is a hard-coded system. Every 4 years, the amount of new supply entering the market is chopped directly in half. The economic logic is basic. When supply slashes dramatically, while global adoption and regulatory frameworks turn increasingly positive, the value has no choice but to break to the upside over time. Amateur traders always make the same fatal mistake. They pile in only when the market is drowning in FOMO, right when prices are artificially pumped up by market makers. They don't see the psychological trap called the kiss of death, where the market gets a slight bump to trick everyone into buying, right before it gets nuked down by 90%. But for those who grasp the fundamentals, that absolute bottom is exactly where you position yourself for generational wealth. But here's the catch. Millions of young people are completely trapped by the wrong dream. Our culture is heavily infected by fake flex culture.
Sleazy offshore money games, shady brokers, and social media gurus trying to sell you an overnight dream. They look at you through a screen and ask, "What color is your Bugatti?" It's a toxic psychological trap. They keep recycling the exact same playbook to exploit desperate people who want fast cash without ever facing the reality of failure. They don't understand that risking your family's basic security for a blind gamble isn't being a visionary. It's being completely reckless and out of touch with reality. You need to understand that money only amplifies who you already are. If you don't know how to manage $100, getting a sudden windfall will destroy you. You'll instantly blow it on sports cars, mindless partying, and end up completely bankrupt in a couple of years like a washed-up athlete who blew their rookie contract. So, what is the bottom line on how we navigate this financial stage right now? First step. Utilize the incredible tools available to you right now in 2026. The regulatory landscape is clearer than ever. Tax laws are established, and you have access to advanced AI to scrape data and build your own analytical dashboards without knowing a single line of code. Sit in your room, use the internet, and realize that you have access to an abundance of world-class information. Stop blindly pressing the buy or sell button based on a whim. Start with the absolute safest bedrock assets, like a Bitcoin-only focus, until you know what you're doing. Your financial fate is your own responsibility, not your mentors, not Wall Street's, and certainly not your parents'. Do not be afraid to start, and more importantly, accept the reality that you might have to fail a few times before you finally hit your real momentum. Your goal tonight is simple. Block out the noise. Focus entirely on scaling your earning power, build your foundation step by step, and respect the process.